This is Jackie Helvey here again, and today I'm interviewing Eduardo Lapetina. Hey, Eduardo.
Hello, Jackie. Thank you very much for coming to my house.
Yes, thank you for having me. Boy, things have really changed over the past year, and I know that you've been working here from your home, but you haven't been able to do a lot of live show, openings and things like that. So that's how it's affected artists, I think. But you've got a show coming up. Why don't you tell people about that?
I will have a show in the Hillsborough Gallery of Arts that is opening the last week of this month, and the show will be up for 1 month. And we are going to have the painting this time, but it's also going to be online, so people can see the paintings online and in the show.
So they can go to the gallery.
Yes, and then I have 21 paintings that all around here in my studio that I've been working extremely hard during the pandemic. I have 2 autoimmune diseases, and I'm 80 years old, so I didn't have much choice. I had to really isolate, and painting was like a therapy. I was very enthusiastic. I was using different colors, different ideas, and make me very happy, And now I'm going to present 21 paintings, but I have many more in my house. And I'm very excited, actually, to be able to have that show in the gallery. I haven't had any show last year.
Right.
We didn't have the open studio that we usually have in November.
Yeah. Some good news, Come Out and Play is going to happen this year.
Is that right?
Yeah, so you should get in touch with
Yes, and the Orange County Artists Guild is also going to have the open studios in November. That is the most important thing for me during the year.
Right. Now, for people who don't know you, I've known you for many years. I went to your very first opening, and so I know quite a bit about you. Tell people, this is a second life for you, or maybe even more than a second life, your third or fourth life.
Well, listen, I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. My parents were Italian. I grew up in an Italian family. My grandparents were Italian too. And I went to I studied at the University of Buenos Aires, and I was working in the School of Medicine in Buenos Aires in the early 70s. But the political situation was extremely bad. Many of my co-workers were disappearing. And,
wow.
And then, at the time I have been already a postdoctoral fellow in England for 3 years, and I published several important papers in Nature. And I got invitations to work in America. So at the time when the situation was terrible, was very, very bad, in the end of 1975, I came to North Carolina to work, and I came with my family. So I worked with them in Barros Welcome, and I was professor of medicine at UNC. And I did a very successful career in the cardiovascular field. I have like 80 postdoctoral fellows coming to my labs from all over the world. We published hundreds of papers. I got many awards, and I was very, very happy doing the science. However, in the late 90s, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and later on, I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis. And part of my work was to go to Europe, to Asia, every month, to give lectures. I was invited to different places, and that became extremely difficult, the taxis and the airplanes and the hotels. And I had to withdraw from science. So it was a very, very depressing time, but slowly I started to think what I can do, and one day I read in the newspaper that James Filer was having a painting class in the Hillsborough Arts Center, and half an hour later I went to the class, and And Shem finally told me, but you didn't bring anything, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to see what you do.
Yeah, you wanted to check it out first.
Yes, and she started to paint, and I was actually criticizing some of her painting. And she said, listen, I have never allowed my husband to criticize my work, and you come to my studio and criticize my work. You better come back. And I went back. I started to paint exactly every single day, and she was extremely good and very encouraging, and told me that I was using the colors very, very well. And a year exactly to the day that I started to paint, I got an award in North Carolina. And some galleries started to invite me, and I've been doing extremely well, you know. I'm very happy doing what I do. I miss my science. Actually, very often I dream of being in the labs, doing experiments, talking to, giving lectures.
Really?
I still do that.
Wow.
I still do that, you know. However, you know, during my day, I come to the studio and I work. But I will tell you something. My paintings take me much more time thinking than the actual work.
Right.
And that is very important, especially for an 80-year-old man.
Right.
You know, we need to activate our minds, to practice, you know. And I'm very happy. I've been, you know, selling my paintings, you know. A lot of people in this area have my paintings. And also all over the United States, people from many states, people have my paintings.
Well, you found a wonderful second profession, you know?
Yeah, even what is the magazine for the old people, ARP?
Oh yeah, AARP.
AARP, they published a paper about a few years ago saying finding a person that had two completely different careers, and had the second one was in the retirement age.
Right.
So, you know.
Well, you definitely found your niche. Now tell people the address of the Hillsborough Gallery.
The Hillsborough Gallery of Arts is in downtown Hillsborough.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the main street in North Churton, and it's 121.
Okay. Well, I hope that everybody comes out to your show, and that you're always selling a lot of work, but you know, as we said, the pandemic has slowed everything down, so now you're going to get back on track. And I'm so glad to interview you today.
Thank you very much.
And to see you doing so
It's
well.
always very nice to see you. And also, all the paintings that I'm going to show in this show in the gallery are in my website.
Right.
And my website is eduardolapetina.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eduardo.
Thank you, Jackie.